Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Divine and welcome to another online class. In today's class, we'll be talking about coding with Scratch application. Now, what is coding? Coding is simply telling the computer what to do using codes. Okay, so I know sometimes when you're using the computer system, when you're clicking, you want to launch Microsoft Word, you are doing other things. That is not coding. You are only coding whenever you are using codes. Now, what are codes, or what is code? Code is the language the computer understands. So, what we're just trying to tell you here is this. The computer does not understand English, it doesn't understand Yoruba, it doesn't understand any language at all. What it understands are codes. Now, these codes has been broken down and interpreted into our various languages. That is why the computer can work in English and any other language. Still talking about codes, okay, and coding. Coding can also be called programming. So it's either you are coding or you are programming. Anyone is correct. And codes can also become program. So if you can say, I've written this code or I've written this program. Okay, it's the same thing. And anyone who can code is called a programmer or a coder. So if you can create codes, you can type codes, you are a programmer or you are a coder. Okay? Now, what are apps used for coding? Apps that we can use for coding, applications we can use for coding. One of them is the Scratch application. Okay? Another one is Alice 3D application. We have another one again, HTML or CSS. And there are many more. Okay, we're just mentioning this few. There are a lot of them. Okay, but we're mentioning this few. However, in our class today, we'll be talking mainly about the Scratch application. Okay? Now, what is Scratch? Alright? What is Scratch? Yes, we all know that Scratch is an application used for coding. But what is Scratch? What actually is Scratch? Scratch is a 2D, that is two-dimensional offline applications used to create games, animations, and stories. So offline meaning that it doesn't make use of the internet. Once you've installed it on your computer, you are good to go. Okay? Now, how can you get Scratch? How can you download Scratch? To download Scratch, you need to go to this link, https:// or you can just go www.scratch.mit.edu/downloads. Okay, now let's follow this link and get Scratch downloaded on this system. So first thing first, I need to launch my web browser. Alright, my web browser is launched and I already have the link opened here. You can see the link here, scratch.mit.edu/download. Now once you type in this link and enter, it will bring you to this website here. Now automatically it will detect what operating system is running on your computer. For me, mine is Windows. That's why you're seeing Windows highlighted here. So it now asks to install the Scratch application for Windows. Then all you just need to do right here is to click on direct download. So once you click on direct download, it will ask you where you want to save it, and then you click on save. The download will start running. You can see the download is already running up here. Okay. However, I don't need to download Scratch. You can see the download running here. So I'm just going to cancel this. Okay. So once it is done downloading, you will run the file. Look at the step is already here. So you just run it and it will be installed on your computer. Alright. Great. Now once you've installed Scratch on your computer, you should be having this. I'm launching my Scratch right now. Remember, to launch any application, you click on the start button and then you type in the name of the application you want to launch. Scratch. SCRA. You can see there's Scratch 3. So I click on it and then it opens. However, if it's your first time installing Scratch, you will see a screen where it will ask you to share your data. All you just need to do is to click on share your data and then just close. It will, and rather OK, then to bring you to this Scratch interface. So here is our Scratch interface. This is where you can create your games. This is where you can create your animations. This is where you can create your stories. And I'm going to explain to you briefly what all of these functions are used for. Alright, Let's start with this cat looking thing here. Okay, this cat looking thing here is called a sprite. All right, a sprite. You can see the name written here, sprite. Okay, that's the general name for all of these things looking here. Okay, there are more of these sprites in Scratch application. How do you get more? You need to go to the sprite library, and here, this is the sprite library here. This icon with a plus, with a cat looking on it, with a cat on it and a plus sign on it. So all you just need to do is click on it, and then you see the different sprites we have. We have all of them arranged alphabetically. We have your sprite from letter A to letter B to C all the way to Z. Okay, and they are categorized into animals. It will only pick all the animals. People, all the people sprites. Fantasy, dance, music, sports, food, fashion, letters. So basically, any sprites you need to create your game, animation, and application and stories, you can get them here. All right. Also, this white area here where this sprite is located is called the background, or the backdrop, or the stage. Yes, 3 names: background, backdrop, or stage. All right. So this is the background. Remember I said this one is your sprites library, and then this one is your background or your backdrop or your stage library. Okay, the same thing. Once you click on it, it will now bring you to where you can have different backdrops, okay, or different background or different stage. So it is also arranged alphabetically from A all the way to Z, if there is any Z there. Okay, and then it's categorized into fantasy, music, sports, outdoor, indoor, space, underwater, patterns. Okay, you can get any stage here for you to set up your game, or for you to start making your animation, or for you to start telling your stories. Okay, good. Now down here is your sprite icon. Okay, any sprite to be inserted. Let's say for instance I want to insert a sprite, any sprite at all. Let me just insert this ball. You will see the icon underneath here, and with this area here you can edit that sprite. Okay, you can change the name of the sprite. You can see this one here is saying sprites 1. I can change it to cat, and then I've changed the name, has changed to cat also here in the sprite icon. Okay, here is telling you the position of the sprite. Now look at what happens to this X and Y axis here. If I move the cat this way, the number changes. Now that's because every point on your stage has a particular dimension, which is X or Y. Remember I said Scratch is a 2-dimensional application, which is your X axis and your Y axis, just like a graph. Now let me use this sprite, or let me use this backdrop to explain that to you. All right, now this is your stage. The stage is divided into 4. There are 2 lines, one running from the top to the bottom, another one running from the left to the right. Okay, they meet at a particular point, and that point is the center of your stage. Let me maximize the stage so you can see it clearly. So I'm going to click on this area here. Now I have my stage maximized. Okay, now I was talking about the 2 lines, one running from top to bottom and the other one running from left to right. They meet at the center. Okay, and at the center, the x-axis, which is the line running from left to right, okay, is 0, and at the center, the y-axis, which is running from the top to the bottom, is 0. Now from the center to your right is 240. All the numbers there are positive, so it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to 240. And then from the center here to your left, it is negative. It goes from 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 down to 240. Okay, you can see 100 here, you can see minus 200 here, like that. The same thing goes for the y. From the middle to the top is 180 positive numbers, and then from the middle to the bottom is minus 180. All right, so that is why whenever I move my sprite, okay, the number here changes. That's because on the x-axis is at minus 43, you can see somewhere here, and then on the y-axis is at 100 and something. You can see you have 100 here, so that means that's 100 and something. So that is how the stage works. Okay, now let's say for instance I want to delete a sprite. Okay, I don't want this sprite here anymore. What I can just do is to click on this delete icon here, and then the sprite goes off the stage. Okay, now this show here allows us to hide our sprites and bring them back. And then this size here, we can increase the size of our sprite. If I make it 200 here, then I hit enter, see it became bigger. And I can reduce it to like, let's say 20. It became smaller. Okay, and then I have my direction here. Now, if I should start working on direction with this ball, you might not really see anything because the ball is round. So let me just insert another sprite. Let me use this ballerina sprite. Now look at this. Right now it's on 90. You can see this clock rotation here. 90 means it is on the left side. Now look at what happens if I change it from 90 to like, let's say 80. Enter. You can see she tilted a little bit to the side. Okay, if I turn it to 180, you can see it looks as if she's rotating. So that's what direction does. It helps us to make our sprite face a particular direction. Okay, but let's say for instance I want to adjust my sprite. You can see that there are 3 icons at the bottom here. This one allows you to rotate the sprites, but this one here only allows you to flip the sprite left, right, like this. You can see the only thing that happens is that she flips left and right, like as if she's just dancing. Then this one, it just doesn't allow any kind of flipping or any kind of rotation. You can see I'm rotating it. She's not rotating, she's not flipping. Okay, she's just where she is. So all of these things comes in handy whenever you're making some games or telling some stories. Good. Now let's move to the left hand side of our Scratch interface. Now here, this is where you have your codes. Now these are your codes. You can use them to create any games, any application. Your codes are divided into 9 blocks or 9 sections. We have motion, and these are all the codes for motion. We have looks. These are all the blocks for looks. We have sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. Okay, now all of these blocks here are used to program your sprites whenever you want to create your games, your animation, or your story. Okay, all you just need to do is to grab the block from here, hold on to left click, drag, and drop it here. So this is your work area here. All right, now in the next class we are going to start making our own games using the blocks here and putting them in our work area. Okay, so I hope you had fun in today's class. I sure did, and I hope you understand everything that we explained in today's class. Okay, so we are going to end here for today. I hope to see you in the next class. So bye for now.